that's the message of the book. Don't believe those shiny stories on the internet. Real life is mundane, and it is slow paced, and you need to prepare for the long run, long haul. It's so first of all you need to arm your mindset. Okay, it won't be overnight success, and even if it will be, okay, that's a fluke. Good, you were lucky, good for you, but you should prepare for years to come. When I started, I had zero clue even what I want to do. It took me a couple of months to discover, okay, I want to write. So I had zero idea on what I will do. It took me 5 years before I stumbled upon the idea for my business, because I successfully advertised my books on Amazon and then started helping others. And it was like a light bulb. Okay, this is easy enough for me. I can do that for others. 5 years. Yeah, I had no clue what to offer to the world. I was just doing something, learning, studying. Yeah, and again, the key word is here, doing something, because in the doing you learn. So, and you can start slowly and ramp up and learn while you are doing. And once you stumbled upon the idea, you can double down. When I started my business, it took me, I think, a year or less to transition to half-time.
Welcome to the podcast. So happy to have everyone with us today. We have a guest from a country that I have never been to, but I would love to visit. Michal's with me today from Poland. Welcome, Michal. Nice to have you on the podcast. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Thank you for having me. Dzień dobry wszystkim słuchaczom z Polski i ze świata, którzy rozumieją po polsku.
Wonderful. It is so great to have you here on Living the Next Chapter to talk about your author journey, your book, and all the great things that you are up to. Can you tell me a little bit about Poland for someone who has never been? What is one thing that I should see or do if I was to make the trip to Poland? What would you suggest?
Just one thing? Come on.
Just one. Only one. There's so many, I know.
Yeah, exactly. So...
Is there a place I should visit? Is there a place I should see, experience?
Yeah, just one thing, come on. We have everything compacted in one country.
You have everything, I know.
The whole state.
Okay, then you tell.
We have
everything.
A seashore, we have mountains, we have lakes. It's the country of the size of Colorado State, but we have everything there. So yes, there is plenty to sightsee, to visit, and we have, quite a long history, although we were ruined multiple times throughout the centuries. Still, you can find some castles from back 14th century or so. That's in Marburg after the German order. We kicked them out from Poland, and they left a lot of castles, and in Marburg there is the huge one. And in Warsaw, you should go to the Warsaw Uprising Museum to really experience just the Polish spirit, because this resistance was expression of how we feel about keeping our freedom.
That's amazing. Okay, yeah, so that's worth it right there. And what I love about when I talk to people from places like Poland is the history and how far back it goes. Compared to Canada, our history is pretty young. But Poland, your history goes back generations and generations. So the amount of stories and again, castles and history. I love history, so I would love Poland. I would love to visit.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Well, I would come and what would we have to drink if I came to Poland? You and I would sit down at a cafe. What would we have? What's your favorite?
At a cafe, you would have a cafe, coffee.
A cafe, yeah. Coffee.
Normally, like, I don't recommend you try to drink vodka with Polish because it's life-threatening. But a beer, like, that's common and you can survive.
Okay, well, there you go. We'll come have a beer and coffee together. Michal, tell me a little bit about your author journey. You're an author and you've written a book, The Remarkable Power of Consistency. Can you tell me a little bit about your journey as an author and when you started writing?
Yeah, so I started writing books in 2013. And apart from the Remarkable Power of Consistency, I have 18 other books.
Wow.
But it's not so impressive as it sounds. They are thin, like you can see. Most of them are small booklets, which serve just one purpose, specific purpose. In nonfiction, that's possible and even desirable, because if you have some pain point, you would like to go over the book quickly, than to shuffle through the pages and pages of beating around the bush. Anyway, my journey. So I started over 9 years ago. My friend read my blog post and she said, that could be a good ebook. And I had a little clue what an ebook was, and I've just discovered a month before that there is something like Amazon and self-publishing. But I learned and I wrote the first book in 49 days. From writing the first word to publishing it on Amazon. And throughout the years, I published multiple books, and Remarkable Power of Consistency is really kind of my autobiography. I put there my yearly progress reports, which I publish on my blog every year since my life transformation, and so 8 years of my life are put in that book, and then of course some advice and recommendation how you can turn around your own life.
Okay, so Michal, what's the difference then between blogging and writing a book? Is there a big difference between the two? Are they similar? How is it for you?
Yeah, there are similarities, but it's much different. Yeah, similarities are of course like the mechanics. You need to write, you need to edit, you need to format, but the smaller bits like blog posts, you can just win them up if you're up to it, or you just need little preparation. When it comes to book, it's so much, because it is a bigger project, it's better to prepare. And now I'm like outlining every single book I'm writing, and I've just started writing another book, or rather continue it. I started writing it a few years ago, and now I wrote a few thousand words for it. And because I had outline from the few years ago, I just pick it up from the place I started, and I'm writing, like, again, with very little preparation, because I had this outline. So having an outline, having the plan, and also, it's, I would say writing a blog and book is similar to, when it comes to commitment, because it takes quite a lot of time. If you are blogging, it should be regular. And if it's regular, then you should write quite regularly. And the same is with book. If you don't want to spend 2-3 years on writing a book, you would better write every day. And that's my discipline. I actually, when I decided to be a writer, I thought hard, okay, but what does it mean to be a writer? And I heard it on some podcast or in some book that writers write. That's the definition of a writer. So I'm trying to write every day. And then I see a lot of difference between blogging and book publishing, exactly after preparing the publication and after publication. It's so you need to be more diligent with a book, or maybe this is just me. You should be diligent with your blog posts. You should market them, promote them, and so on. I don't do that a lot, but with book, like if you don't give this initial oomph, the chances are slim to none that the book will do well. So you would better prepare the launch, share it with beta readers, get those reviews in advance, so at the launch date you are prepared and ready to go.
So what are some of the ways that you like to use to promote all of these books that you've written? Is there a certain method that you like to use all the time to help promote?
In the last several years, I tried many methods and I came down to a few which are really yielding good results for the effort, and those are my own email list. It generates a few dozen sales initially. My friends' email list, so I'm in this space for several years. I know plenty of self-published authors, and I love to master their efforts for my book launch, and appealing to the readers of other authors is so much easier than appealing to some random crowd. They are readers, and my friends are writing similar books in personal development space, so the things I'm writing are interesting for their readers, and vice versa. So that's a very good source of initial book sales, and some promo sites. Like for nonfiction, I discovered 3-4 that are good for me, and I launched my book at 99 cents, the Kindle version, and use those promo sites to promote the book.
Nice. What is some of the benefits of using self-producing of your book as far as publicating yourself? Is there an advantage you see to that? Because I have other authors come on and they go through traditional publishing houses and pay somebody. What's the advantage to doing this all to yourself? What do you enjoy about it?
I wouldn't say I much enjoy it. I enjoy the writing part, not the publishing part and marketing part. But I can do it, and I know how to do it. And that's actually I could see it as an advantage in traditional publishing. You don't have to dabble with that. You should, again, because it's in your best interest, but you don't have to, because they will do quite a lot without you. But two things I see immediately, which is money. I'm making, and self-published authors are generally making more than traditionally published authors, and the control over the process. If I decide to publish a book in a quarter, I will do it. If you try to do this with a traditional publisher, good luck. Then I have the control over what's in the book. I started a business coaching practice recently, several months ago, and I will update all of my books and put this call to action at the end that if you want to hire me, here are some details. Yeah, so I can do that at any moment, anytime, and this is free advertisement. I'm selling and giving away, because I have a few perma-free books, few hundred copies a month. So few hundred people a month will see this addition to my book. And this is something I can, I published this book almost 10 years ago, but now I can put at the end of it my business coaching practice, which started this year. So this control over the process is really, really powerful.
So let's talk a little bit about your business coaching. I'm interested to hear what kind of services you offer and maybe a little bit about your clients. Are they around the world? Who are you working with as well with your business coaching?
Yes, my clients are around the world, mostly in the US and Western Europe. And I provide one-on-one coaching. So this is like just you and me and nothing else. And I aim at solopreneurs or small business owners because in their cases, the bottleneck is usually the owner. Like they do all too many things. They don't take care of themselves well. And this all contributes to business troubles. So like helping them to fix themselves is seriously the easiest, fastest path to growing their business. And coaching can be really addressed to all the spectrums of human life. I had like a totally spiritual sessions. I had sessions about self-care, about some mental issues. So it can address a lot of issues, but I focus on business and solopreneurs and onlinepreneurs because this is the path I made. So I share the experience, and it's easier for them to relate to me. It's easier for me to relate to them. So instead of coaching corporate executives with hundreds of people working in their departments, I prefer to work with people with no team or very small team like I have.
Yeah, and I think the other part where you talked about your email list, we need to develop that further and kind of grow our email list. Do you have any tips for people listening on how to add people to your email list? Is there a secret we can share with people?
Well, in case of authors, it's pretty easy. You offer reading, yeah? So access to your upcoming books or some short story which is complementary to your books, or in case of non-fiction author like me, it may be, short book which is free. So that's easy. In the end, it's always offering something for free, which is a quick win for the people who are joining your email list, and also some kind of incentive to stay there. Like I'm sharing with my readers my life. Like every 2 weeks, I'm sending email broadcasts and keeping them up to date, what's going on with my life, my business, my writing. And for those who are following me for years, like this is really this attraction point. Yeah, they want to know it's like a series and the next episode. They want to know what's going on in my life. So this is how and also like on my blog, I'm telling them, okay, I'm trying to be an example, to lead by example. So this is value of this email list. You will get those updates every 2 weeks, and you will see, the struggles online. It's not, okay, 10 years ago I was a miserable corporate cog, and today I'm a successful author and I sold over 80,000 copies of my books. Yay. Nope. It's, the grind, the hustle, what's going wrong, what's going great, failures and wins and everything between. So the so-called lead magnet, the offer needs to be really matched with your audience. Yeah. So you need to think of what your customers need, offer them this, preferably in some quick win fashion, like a checklist, one pager, an infographic, which is really valuable. So that's the way to get them over the fence, to generate this impulse. Okay, I want this, so I get on the email list. And then your regular communication also should be valuable and provide something for them to keep reading your emails and from time to time being open to whatever offer you have.
And that's great, because if you have an email list and you're writing a new book or a new ebook, you can let them know about the process. You can tell them updates. And then when it's available, then you can let your audience know. And they followed you all the way through writing. And they feel like they're invested in your book already, and they don't even have a copy yet. And when the book is done, you can share it with your email list, and you have a group of people that are ready to buy because they've been with you the whole journey. I love it. It's really a great way to build a community around what you're doing. It's very smart.
And I love to involve
for marketing, I love it.
My readers into the process. So I ask them about the title, the subtitle, doing surveys, how about the cover. So they invest even more that way.
That's nice. And they can say, I voted for that cover and we won. I got the cover I liked. So that's nice that you can bring your readers in. Can you share a little bit more about your book then? Your most recent book? What can people experience when they read the remarkable power of consistency?
Yes, I changed my life because I started to develop small daily good habits, and I embraced this philosophy. It happened after reading the book The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. And then every year after reading the book, I wrote a progress report, which was across all the areas of my life, from career, health, spirituality, everything. So this is the core of the book, those reports. And as I said, like with my email list, this is the grind. This is, keeping it real, because there are no overnight successes. We see them all around because they are so shiny. So, of course, from among 1,000 entrepreneurs, 3 will succeed significantly. They will make millions in the first year, and they are making those headlines. But there is, over 990 other entrepreneurs who are also succeeding, but their stories are invisible. So by putting together this book, I already had those reports. I decided to make this story visible. So you will see also the story of a normal guy who has a day job and is side hustling for years and transitioning out bit by bit, first half time, then quarter time. And I finally quit my job a month ago. And this is the reality. This is like, I share plenty of struggles and failures in my reports, because this is how I know, if you know this graphic, how you think success looks like and how it looks like in reality. You think that it goes like straight arrow to the top, but in reality it's curves and downs and ups all the time. And this is what I included in my book. And the main common thread is habits. Habits will get you there in every area of your life. We are habitual creatures. We are wired for that. Our brains are really built on that. We share those parts of the brain which stores habits with reptiles and birds. This is a very primitive mechanism. but it stayed with us forever because it works. I'm drumming the beat of consistency. If you are consistent, you can succeed. Like, it's not a guarantee, but the opposite is a guarantee. If you will not keep up, if you will quit, you have guaranteed failure.
What is a good daily habit for an author to implement into their work? What can we do to be consistent there?
Yeah, more than a few. First of all, writing. If you are a writer, you are writing. Come on, then editing. I suck at this because I don't like editing, but if you want to publish something, you need to edit the stuff. And the third one, I would say it's promoting, marketing, and again, I'm not really good at it, but you should focus on that as well. And I know plenty of successful self-published authors, and the most successful are those who are willing to put into the effort. One of my customers, I have a book advertising business. One of my customers, she's a very successful romance writer, and I heard her story on some podcast. For 1 year, she was writing and promoting like 24/7, all the time. That was her whole life. So no wonder she's widely successful. Like, I was writing half an hour to an hour a day, that's all. Her days were spent on writing, editing, and promoting for the whole year. Then she made, 5 figures. No wonder.
Yeah, right, exactly. Michal, when you're writing, are you editing as you write, or are you separating writing and editing? Are you keeping them distant, or are you doing it kind of as you're writing?
Absolutely not. I consider it one of the basic rules. Do not edit while you are writing. There are few, superhumans who can do that, and good for them, but common folks shouldn't try that. My first drafts are very dirty, and I don't care. Like, I'm not rereading, I'm writing. It's in case of nonfiction, I think it's easier. Yeah, I have the outline, I just go around. In case of fiction, I know how story goes into the places you didn't expect. But then you should pause and think where it goes and have a plan and then continue. I know, another discipline which I recommend is keeping a writing log. So when you started, when you finished, what you were writing, how many words, and so on. It provides you a lot of data for you. So I know from this writing log, whenever I research while writing, whenever I edit while writing, my performance goes down the drain, like it's 50% worse. So yeah, it's not worth to save the time while doing both at the same time, because it's not working. And in case of editing, it's even good to come back to your stuff after a week or a month, because you are no longer familiar, so you can see the typos or errors and so on.
Amazing. So we talked about self-publishing. We talked about having those small daily good habits. Yeah, the great suggestion of the Slight Edge book. I'm going to check that out as well. Who is your audience for The Remarkable Power of Consistency? Did you have somebody in mind when you were writing this book? Who are you trying to help?
Yeah, generally with my personal development books, I write from my own experience, and I'm trying to reaching my avatar, which is me, 10 years ago. I was stuck in a corporate job. I was miserable. I didn't really know what I want to do with my life. And I just felt I'm not fulfilling my potential. But, when you are in some line of life, I had a full-time job. I have 3 kids already, mortgage to pay. It's not so easy to transition to something else. And you need a lot of determination, you need a plan, you need consistency. And for those people, I wrote this book and my other books.
So there's someone listening to this, Michal, and they're where you were. They're in that corporate job. Maybe they're a little nervous to take the step and step out and chase something that they want to do beyond what they're doing right now. What would you say to that person, Michal, 10 years ago, who was thinking about making a change in his life? What would you say to him now that you've been doing this for so long? What words of wisdom would you have for yourself back then?
Yeah, that's the message of the book. Don't believe those shiny stories on the internet. Real life is mundane and it is slow paced, and you need to prepare for the long run, long haul. It's so first of all you need to arm your mindset. Okay, it won't be overnight success, and even if it will be, okay, that's a fluke. Good, you were lucky, good for you, but you should prepare for years to come. Unless you have those special, circumstances that you can drop your day job right now, or, your spouse can afford to you trying new things without a job. But like I said, the standard path is you are doing your day job and you are doing your side hustle. And when I started, I had zero clue even what I want to do. It took me a couple of months to discover, okay, I want to write. So I had zero idea on what I will do. It took me 5 years before I stumbled upon the idea for my business, because I successfully advertised my books on Amazon and then started helping others. And it was like a light bulb. Okay, this is easy enough for me. I can do that for others. 5 years. Yeah, I had no clue what to offer to the world. I was just doing something, learning, studying. Yeah, and again, the key word is here, doing something, because in the doing you learn. And it doesn't have to be a big commitment. Like my side hustle, just, the technicality of writing, editing, publishing took me maybe 2-3 hours a day. That's all. So, and you can start slowly and ramp up and learn while you are doing. And once you stumbled upon the idea, you can double down. When I started my business, it took me, I think, a year or less to transition to half-time.
So it's something that's not going to happen in one day. We're going to take time. It's going to take time to build. But when you take time to build something, it's stronger. Just like building a house. It doesn't happen in one day. It takes time. And building your business, building your career will take that effort. And I think if people can think long term and realize, like you said, not like it's going to happen instantly, like you see on Instagram or on the web, someone's famous and it seems easy. It's those days when it's hard is when people give up. So having those consistent daily good habits are going to help keep you through and bring you to success. I love it. Sounds really good.
Yeah, and don't believe those shiny stories and don't compare yourself to those folks, because your story is yours. You have to be the best version of yourself, not someone else. And it brings a lot of frustration when you compare yourself to. I remember my early years, like 3-4 years into this side hustle, and I had all those good habits. Like I was fit, for example, and I saw successful people who weren't, and I had those input habits, reading, listening, which some folks didn't have, but they succeeded. And I was so frustrated about this. Like, I'm doing all the things necessary to succeed, and well, it's going so slowly, and I'm not there. And it just steals your joy from the journey. Don't compare yourself to others. Compare yourself to you a year ago, like I've been doing with my reports.
Nice. Build that email list. Build community around your writings. There's so many great things you've shared today, Michal. I'm really, really happy to have you on the podcast with so many books that you've written in the past. If somebody listening and they want to reach out to you, they want to get access to your books, how do they do that, and how do they contact you for coaching? Be interested to kind of share that with our listeners as well.
So when you type my name into the Google, it's so easy to be a Polish guy in the English-speaking space. Michal Stawicki, Amazon, or blog, and they are at the top, the results in the Google. So you will find me on Amazon. I have 3 permanently free books on Amazon, so you can start from there. And if you want to check out my business coaching, go to my blog, expandbeyondyourself.com/business-coaching. And this is like the landing page, and you can book a discovery call.
Nice. We'll put all that information in the show notes as well. For people who are at the gym right now working out, they don't have a piece of paper, they can go to the show notes and click and go right to your page. So thank you so much, Michal. How do we end off today? How do we encourage somebody to write the next chapter of their book? What would you say to a listener, an author? How can we encourage and build them up today? Maybe they're having a hard day writing. What can we do to encourage them?
Yeah, start with the end in mind. Focus on your vision, which I do. Like, I have a set of habits just to remind myself why I'm doing this, because as you said, there are days when it's hard or even heartbreaking. They are such days. And then you need to go back to your vision, to inspire yourself. Yes, you may have support system, your spouse may be your greatest cheerleader, but not everybody have such luxury, and in the end it comes down to your own motivation. And your best motivation is your future. It's where are you going to, not how you felt yesterday or how much it hurts right now.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Michal. Thank you for being part of the podcast. So happy to have you on, and all the way from Poland to Canada. What a great connection. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dave.
Mindshift Power Podcast, the podcast for teenagers and those who work with them. There's a huge problem in America today. There's a very large disconnect between teenagers and the adults who work with them. I'm looking to bridge that gap with real, raw, honest conversation, not held back by the chains of political correctness. You cannot solve a problem you do not understand. Want to understand teenagers today? Listen to this podcast. This podcast is for teens in the U.S. and Canada. To learn more, go to fatimabay.com/podcast or just look for Mindshift Power Podcast on any listening platform. I look forward to you being a faithful listener.